Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Michael Reed. A pleasure to see you again, sir. The title of tonight's episode is Depth Charge. For multiple meanings, of course, a dual meaning behind that. But we're going to break down the Chargers game. If you guys have any questions that you just off the top of your head want to answer for us, then we'll answer it for you, of course. If there's something you want to say regarding the game on key matchups or who you think is going to do really well in this matchup, we'd love to be able to give you guys a shout out in the live stream. Just comment on it, and we'd love to answer it for you. But no further ado, what's up, Reed? How you doing, man?
Kyle, I'm just doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keep on keeping on. Just got everybody in the house sick right now but me. I'm the only person who hasn't been affected, and you might think that's a good thing. Oh, no, it is not. It sucks so bad. Just waiting on people all the time. Luckily, I mean, Lindsay's been cool. She hasn't needed much, but James, you know.
Same old, man. Everyone's always sick. I know it was like that. It was like that for us last week.
Dude, it's crazy because when he started school last year, he started getting sick all the time, of course. And then during summer, he was never really sick. Start school again. And I said, cool. Now you're sick as hell all the time.
Right. Now, I want to ask you a couple questions here before we get any further.
Yes, my body is real. I will just get that off the table.
Have you ever had to wear a knee brace?
Yes, actually, I did.
At work?
No, this was back in. Yeah.
No, knee pads. My bad, knee pads.
Oh, knee pads. Oh, well, Kyle. I was a top rollerblader for a long time.
Dude,
no,
I wouldn't put it past you.
no, it wasn't. It was, No, I did actually. I cracked my kneecap when I was in probably third or fourth grade, and I remember I fell playing basketball. I did something, and I was at football practice. My dad said I was faking because I was like, "Dad, my knee really hurts." And then I went to football practice, and I was a left tackle, and I couldn't bend over all the way. And the coaches were like, "Oh, I think this kid's actually hurt," and like I just couldn't bend my knee. But anyway, so then I got to check that. I had to wear a brace and limp around, and then a brace like for really like the next 2 years on my knee, and that sucked, dude. I don't understand why knee brace. Like I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like I get that it helps with stability. They suck. They're terrible. Especially the big ones like Jayden's going to be wearing, like the Stone Cold Steve Austin ones. They're terrible. They suck. They hurt. You saw Mac Jones last night. Did you watch any of the game last night?
I didn't, dude. I've been so tired.
Yeah. Well, Mac Jones got hit a couple times, and his knee just wasn't bending right because of the knee brace. So it was like it bent weird. He kept getting up limping, having to check it, and it was like flashbacks to RG3, man.
Yeah, like I've told you before, like the only knock on wood, the only real injury I've ever had is my fractured toe. So I've never had to wear a knee brace.
That was from when you kicked that Russian guy in the face for trying to mug you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was definitely
that
what
was
it was
sick.
from.
That was cool.
I wish
you
it
were
was
saving
that cool.
those cats. Yeah. What was it? How bad is it?
No, it was in 7th grade a lot. Like I was playing football for Damascus Cougars, the Pee Wee Little League.
Yeah.
But we were playing backyard football in the neighborhood, and I was barefoot. I loved playing barefoot. And I was chasing down Chris Toller. Do you remember Chris Toller?
Vaguely.
Yeah, and I was chasing him down, and my foot ran into the back of his heel.
Damn. So you did kind of break your toe on another man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I walked home. My dad thought I was fibbing. And
Yeah.
he told me to sit on it for a night. I woke up the next morning. I was like, dude, we gotta go
He told
somewhere.
you to sit on it for a night.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you'll be fine in the
He
morning.
walked in on the morning with your foot up your ass. Like you were like, Dad, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Sitting Indian style.
No, but it doesn't shock me that your old man didn't believe you. Not at all.
No, plus I was such a liar.
Yeah, dude, I am so sure.
Do you know the excuses I would use to get out of stuff?
I could tell just by him not believing you. I could tell exactly.
I was about to say, Kyle, you know what that's like with me not showing up every week. but like, yeah, dude, I wouldn't have believed me either.
No,
you're right.
But we're getting off track. Regardless, how are you feeling? Because like this week we're going to see a familiar face in Preston Smith. Unfortunately, we lost somebody else in Javante John Baptiste last week with a torn pec. So it looks like Preston Smith is going to get called up here. But a lot of the Colonel's questions, so I'll go to the Colonel's question first because
Yeah.
it's kind of doom and gloom. But respect to the Colonel, of course. But he has good questions. It's just
That's how most of the fan base is right now, so don't feel bad,
right.
Colonel.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I told him. I was like, it's warranted, to be
That's
honest
every
with you.
yeah.
Look,
Dude, that
we
was
are.
that was the worst game I've seen us play since the Bears 2 years ago.
That was rough.
That was rough. Yeah.
His question was, I did not realize how depleted we were injury-wise. What the hell are we going to do at wide receiver? We got Robbie Chosen now, man. We picked him up this week. Woo!
Yeah. No, I mean, really,
Dude,
here's the
he's the black version of Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons.
yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, he looks like him. Yeah, it's gangly with the hair and stuff. But hey, I don't care. It's you definitely feel better about like it sucks. Obviously, you don't want to be missing your wide receivers. Obviously, not having Terry's huge. Debo's banged up, but he's gonna play. But like you definitely feel a little bit better about it knowing Jayden's coming back just because you know how Jayden like in Cliff's offense, Jayden is very good at distributing the ball. It's still obviously you would like to have your best playmakers out there that can do something with it, but you do feel confident Jayden, as long as his knee's okay, can get the ball to the right guys in the right spaces as long as Cliff dials up a good game. And so far this season, it's been like week one, dominated. We were fantastic. Week two, sucks. Sky's falling. Week three, back on track. We were awesome. Dominated. Week four, sky is definitely falling. Everything is over. The season is over. Restart from scratch. So now we're back on track to play good again. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, no, because you're absolutely right. That's why I said on the last pod, like, because the old saying used to be that you couldn't be able to firmly identify what the identity of the team was until a month into the season. That's when you
Yeah.
really gained your identity.
Sometimes even more than that. Yeah.
Right. And like with Washington, like I asked this question on the last pod, like, what is the identity of these first 4 weeks? At this point, I think we have more questions than we do of solidifying
Yeah.
any identity means because we don't know what we truly have because we've had 2 on games and 2 off.
Right.
And honestly, the 2 games that they've dominated, it's been based on the trenches where they've been able to dominate offensive lines and
Yeah.
really be able to dictate games based on intensity and energy. And the other 2 games, they haven't been able to really grasp that. And I think it has a lot to do with the offensive lines. But obviously, LA coming into this game had their own injury concerns.
Yeah.
They're going to be without Rashawn Slater, without one of my favorite draft picks in Joe Alt from
Yeah.
a couple years ago. And I wasn't on board to saying that we needed to take Joe Alt at 2. But I did have a tweet out there saying if you're going O-line in round 1, like Joe Alt is going to be
Yeah.
that's the pick. It's
I remember
Joe Alt.
I remember me and you getting into it because you were saying he was better than Olu Fashanu, and I was
Yep.
like, no, he's not. And then you were right, but that's okay because it was still
I
not
know.
as big of a mix
You have
of
Penei
Penei
Sewell on me.
Sewell versus
I
Jackson
know.
Carman,
I know,
so
I
it's
know.
okay. But no, yeah, I mean that's huge. But also when it's a quarterback like Justin Herbert who's playing as well as he is, like I could see Lad McConkey sucked so much this year, but I mean, he's going to go for 300 yards if our DBs play the way that they did last week. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think that they'll have it figured out. I hope so. I think, like Joe Witt said, the communication's such a big thing. You saw that on multiple plays. I think you post. Did you post that one with Amos and Reeves, where there was a deep pass to Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts got it, and there was a clear miscommunication from Jeremy Reeves and Trey
Actually,
Amos.
Joe Witt highlighted this in his press conference, saying there was a certain player, didn't call them out. I'm sure he's talking to him about this, but they kind of hear the headlines of what the fan base says. If you guys don't understand what that means by now, it's they're on social media. Like they
Yeah,
see everything. They watch YouTube videos. They do all that. They hear
yeah,
everything what everyone's saying. And what he was saying is they were trying to get a jump on turnovers. And so what he was trying to do, and Jeremy Reeves in that situation, was jumping that out route for the interception. What ended up happening was he was supposed to come back into that seam to cover Kyle Pitts, but he jumped that out route thinking
okay,
that ball was going there.
right,
So that's what he said. Like, that's what he meant. Joe Witt in his press conference was saying, you don't need to wear cape. You don't need to be Superman. Just play it the way it's supposed to be played, and everything will work out for itself. There's no reason to be very to go over the top with it because ultimately it could like ruin a lot of things for us. And
right.
he's right because we saw that on Sunday.
That's what happened. Michael Penix looked like he was Joe Namath back there.
Dude,
Joe
seriously,
Namath,
that was absolutely
Joe
insane.
Namath wasn't even
He
that good
was
though.
freaking
Obviously,
on it, dude.
yeah,
Now we
I
are
didn't like
joined
that.
by our all-star guest. I'm not sure if you guys know who this guy is. Of course you
Mhm.
do. He's everywhere. He's got more jobs than
Damn, that was tight.
he's got
That was
he's more busy than
The
Logan
rest of
Paulson
man.
nowadays. but he still
Yeah.
has time for us.
Wrestler
Mr.
was
Anthony
that?
Armstrong.
And if I can just say also, and this is look, me and LP, me and Logies used to be best friends. Hate him now. Anthony Armstrong is my new best friend.
Already, I made
I
my
was
way to the top. I love
That's
it,
right. It
man.
was very easy. You didn't have to do anything. It's more a shot at Logan than you. You know what I'm saying? It's more.
Okay.
It's like Logan, get it together, dude. Anthony's my best friend now.
I'm gonna knock it. You say it kind of as if he can take my spot back, but I
No,
don't plan on
no. Are you
going
kidding me?
down without a
That
fight.
my that MySpace top eight is set. Anthony
Yes.
Armstrong, number one. Logan Paulson removed.
That's what I'm talking
There
about.
you
That's what I'm
go.
talking about. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, brother? It's good to talk to you, man. I wanted to get your opinion on this, like, cause Reed, he wore a knee brace when he was in school,
I was 10 years old.
knee pads for work, but that's not the same thing, right? But for you in your sports career, like how, like obviously it's difficult for Reed walking around school with a knee brace on, but how difficult is it playing football with one on?
I mean, I can say fortunately I haven't had to wear a knee brace. Now, in my older years, I did go out there with some knee sleeves, a la Patrick Ewing, because the knees was
Right.
getting
Yeah,
swollen
man.
and sore.
The
So,
old Dwayne
from
Wade. Yeah, D
from what,
Wade stuff.
yeah, right, OG Dwayne Wade. But
Yeah.
what I've learned and heard from folks is just that it's just a little bit more cumbersome, right? You're not able to move, not necessarily as nimbly as you like, but I mean, you can imagine having just an apparatus, strapped around your knee. Now it's there for safety and for security, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to pull a, Superman and was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna wear it for the game. I'm feeling pretty good." But safety first. If it comes something where it's like really slowing him down, I think take the damn thing off. We'll be all right. But hell, protect him first, and we won't even have to worry about the knee brace.
Oh,
Right.
you're absolutely right. Now, with that being said, I did want to ask you in regards to Jayden, like what to expect.
Man, honestly, my ideal situation is for Cliff to take the reins and control the play calling in a way that protects your quarterback. Okay, so what I mean by that is lead with the run. Okay, lead with the run. I want to see over 40 runs this game and more close to 30 passes would be my ratio. A lot of Chris Rodriguez. Okay, I want to see him get over 40 yards, 50 yards, but then like continually give him the rock. Don't just cap, those running backs at seven. I don't know why that's the magic number right now. Like people have momentum in the 7 carries. It's like Pee
Yeah.
Wee League, Reed.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, you've had your 7 plays. Come on out.
Yeah.
You're at the
Yeah.
weight limit. It's like, no, let these suckers run. Let them run. You have to play behind your pads with the offensive line. Help take away what the Chargers like to do, and their ability to pass rush and control the clock, stay on the field. You saw that the Giants had success with that, so I want Cliff to be able to do that. The other thing is I want Jayden to protect himself and be more cognizant of how he navigates the pocket. I think that one, you can stay in the pocket a half a second longer and complete a pass to somebody on the outside. I've seen those throws be available throughout the season, and if he sees those throws and he can realize it, okay, Marcus stayed in there an extra tick and was fine. Let me stay an extra second instead of trying to escape the pocket and move around. So those are the two things that I would be expecting. Just protect yourself as a player, but then protect your player as a play caller, and that right there is going to help you, guarantee. I don't say guarantee, but give yourself the best chance. If you're dropping
Right.
back 45 times, bad stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah, and to
One
your
one
point,
thing.
Anthony,
Oh,
just real quick, the Chargers defense, they come to this game second in the league in red zone conversion percentage, fourth in points per game, fifth in passing yards, and 17th in rushing yards. To your point, going to where you want to be able to run the ball sustainably in this game to help out Jayden a little bit more. That's where their weakness tends to be at, and I would imagine that's the case. And then I just want to give a shout out to a realistic Washington fan. What's up, brother? He said, good evening, fellas. And Cody said, what's up, gents? Big fan of Mr. Armstrong. That makes
yeah.
three of
Who
us,
wasn't?
brother.
Yeah.
I
Who isn't?
love
I
it,
said who
man.
wasn't. Damn, I'm still a fan. We're all still fans. Yeah, my
I
bad.
love it, man. I appreciate y'all for that, for real, because you down here in Texas, and I'm a long way. I was away from everything, and then I slowly
Hmm.
was like, let me get back out here, and y'all have
Dude,
welcomed me with open arms.
Anthony, I remember the year that you really started breaking into the NFL with us, like your first year when you were. I remember using you all the time in Madden. I was like, Anthony Armstrong's going to be your number one dude. You would always take over from Moss and stuff coming up, and I was like, yep. And I would just win Super Bowls with you. I was like, hell yeah.
What
There
I'm
we go.
talking about. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, man. Hell yeah. My neighbors when I moved in over here, they were like 6 and like 8. and it was a couple years in, and they realized I was on Madden, and then they were like,
Oh, that
"You were
oh
on
my
the
God.
game? Oh my God, that's so cool!" And then, so
Yeah.
yeah, it
That
ended
probably
up
blew
being
their mind. Yeah.
yeah, man.
6 and 8,
It
they were
was
like,
pretty
"Oh."
cool. It's
It's
been
on
pretty
our
cool.
coaching staff for the middle school team. I coach Anthony. One of the guys helping out played left tackle at Cincinnati, and little did I know that he's actually really good friends with the Kelseys. He was their left tackle in the same year as them. So I
Oh.
asked him, I was like, "You going to the wedding?" He was like, "Yeah, I was at Jason's wedding." I was like, "That's not the wedding I'm talking about,
You
my
know
dude."
what wedding I'm talking. Nobody's talking
You're
about
right.
Jason's
He was
wedding.
like,
Come
"I
on,
hope
dude.
so."
Yeah.
But
He's
That's so
like,
funny.
he's
Reed,
like, they start posting pictures about, I remember the time. I remember
Yeah.
that time.
right.
Now's the time for him to get in contact with him. Like, hey man, remember that night when you shotgunned those beers? That was so funny. Hope for an invite. Yeah.
Reed, you got a question for Anthony?
Yeah. So what do you make of what happened? Like I said it earlier, this last week against the Falcons was the worst defensive performance I've seen from this team. The only other one that I've seen that I like off the top of my head that I can remember was 2 years ago against the Bears, where it was like you're just like, what the hell was this? What is going on right now? That just completely killed our season. This isn't that bad. It didn't kill our season. We still have a lot of hope, 2-2. But what the f? What the h? What is going on back there with that secondary?
What the helly? I can tell you, the Falcons came and attacked the same thing that everybody had already been doing, right? And then navigating out of those bunch and stacked sets. And that seems to give the back end a little bit of issues, right? A little bit of communication errors. And I don't know if I don't know if it's like, one person thinks the other person's doing it, but they're not communicating to each other, or is it I don't know what the check is supposed to be. But then there's also a point to where who is going to make the call? Like, which out of me and you, the safety in the corner, hey, I got it. I'm gonna call it. Okay, and that's fine. Whatever y'all gonna do, they got to communicate it, but they have to communicate it before they get to the field, right? This is not something to be trying to do on the fly. This week, I'm hoping that they sat and looked at the tape and every scenario that was a bad play and there was a broken play or open receiver that they stopped and say, okay, when we see a stack, because the guaranteed thing is this: you're gonna see the exact same
Yep.
formations, similar plays, maybe a little something else off of it. Like Marshawn was mentioning, there's always another wrinkle to come from that. But you have to sit there and say, how are we going to navigate this bunch, especially the Falcons, the bunch where he went from like a wide and they motioned down, and that's number one. And then you have to treat it a certain way based on your coverage. Now, when number one quickly becomes number three, that changes a lot of rules on the fly. And for example, if you're looking at a Tampa 2, that's where they kept running cover 2, and that's where those corner routes kept coming open,
Right.
that the Falcons took advantage of. They'll run number one right down the middle, and he's running with speed, and he's putting pressure on two people. Number one, it's the safety, so Reeves and Quan Martin. But then on the inside, the linebacker is trying to run up underneath because he has to relate to number three. Where number three was inside, now he's doing all this other shit stuff, and now number one's coming from the outside, and this is speed down the middle. So you can see how this causes trouble.
Right.
Everybody's like, "Well, they just got to cover somebody." It's like, well, yes, yes, but they need to talk about it more so than think about the technique. It's more of a like, all right, when we see this, what do we need to do? Now, here's what I do. I go back to my days in the Arena League, back when you could go in this high motion, back around the sides and all
Yep.
this other jazz. We played a game against San Jose, and my man Will Pettis came around in high motion, and their cornerback came up and met him at the line of scrimmage, knocked him cold out. Now I ain't saying that you got to knock somebody out in this game, but what I am saying is I feel that the best way to handle these motion, people moving on the fly, is you have to quickly disrupt it. Somebody out of those three people need to go up there and just quickly disrupt it, jam them, get a body on them, and stop letting the offense dictate to you and you dictate to them. Throw off their
Right.
timing a little bit. That's would be my
Yeah.
suggestion.
No, I mean, and who knows that better than you about how wide receivers want to attack those secondaries in those situations. And the other thing with the Falcons, like last week, it was the Falcons. We've known the Falcons are talented. Like they have talent. It was all about Penix. I know Penix was coming off of his worst game, but like Drake London's a stud. Kyle Pitts has talent. He hasn't really produced, but like if you give him the opportunity, obviously
He does
they're going to
versus
target
us.
him. Right. And Bijan Robinson, obviously best running back in the NFL. So good. Chargers got some guys that haven't produced, but like Glad McConkey, but he's very good. Quentin Johnson has been very good this year. So that Marion Hampton's a stud. So it's like that's where you get a little worried with Justin Herbert. It's like we just gotta on offense, we gotta clamp down on D, and you really gotta be on the ball on offense in this game.
You know, well, you talking about for the Commanders offense?
Yeah, I think so. I think we
Yeah.
got to score a lot. Yeah,
Well, yeah, you can score a lot, but the thing is, I don't want it to be a shootout because
right,
this isn't a shootout offense.
right.
They're
Not
not
right
set
now.
up for that,
Not right now for
right?
sure. Right,
This is one of those ones where you didn't had an 8, 9, 10 play drive. You get in the end zone. Now the defense has to, they're trying to get them off the field so you can get another long drive. But if they score quickly, you have to just calm yourself down on offense, and then once again put together a big long drive. Fight that urge to try to fight big play with big play. You know what I mean? Stay
Yes.
within yourself and play your game, right? Play your game. You're gonna get the opportunity to set up the knockout punch, right? Like you're gonna get that opportunity. They're down Khalil Mack. You're gonna have Derwin James. So they got a couple guys hurt, but Derwin James is a guy that's gonna be all over the place. And I think that maybe you're able to find a situation where you can get him out of the skies, and that helps you get a matchup where somebody can get a double move. I do think there's a chance to throw the ball deep one time. I've called for some aggression. Now, this is kind of different than
right.
me saying go for 10 drive, but you want the offense to pick up some points. I need to see you take a shot deep.
And
Right?
I'm
Just put
not
it on tape.
I'm
Yeah,
not talking crap. I'm not trying to put in bulletin board material out there. All I'm saying is with the injury to wide receiver, it's probably a very good week to play against Benjamin St. Juice. I'm just
he
saying.
bet St. Juice has been good this year,
I'm just
dude.
saying.
Have you seen his PFF ratings and stuff? St.
That's
Juice has
his
been
PFF
pretty
I
ratings
good.
is
haven't.
that's perfectly fine. Just
No,
put a
I know. I'm
body
just
on
saying
him and he's gonna
it
get a
would
flag at
happen.
some point.
Hey,
Yeah.
but there's good for some familiarity. At least
Yeah.
you get
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
that's
That's
over
true.
there.
Yeah.
But look,
There you go.
here's what I'm doing. All right. Y'all remember Jason Sehorn?
Of
Yeah.
course, he doesn't remember. Come
All
on, man.
right.
That he
So
was the
yeah,
red panda for a while of white corners.
yeah,
So it was
man,
like
right?
that was my boy.
Offenses,
Yeah.
offenses would look that way. Man, this is no disrespect to him, man. He's a good player, great player in the league. But you get out there. Some people gonna be like, hey,
White
check
guy
over
running
there.
backwards. We got
Now,
we got
yeah. Now,
yeah.
here's my
We
thing.
got him. Yeah.
I think we got our own Jason Sehorn, but on the offensive side, because frankly, they not gonna respect his speed. Okay, I'm throwing one deep to Luke McCaffrey. That's my secret weapon because they're gonna be like, ain't no way this white boy gonna run past me.
Right. Right.
And
Hey,
they gonna try to sit at 12, and he's gonna run and give a half of a stutter, and they gonna stuck, and then he gonna meep and run right past him.
I did. Luke,
Mimi.
2 weeks in a row. Yeah. Yeah. He's 2 weeks in a row. He scored a touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. But I
I
mean,
think
this is one where I just feel I got a feeling where it's like
time to
everybody
step
sits
up,
on their
people.
routes. Everybody sits
Right.
on their routes around 12 because that's where, the ball's usually coming out and this is usually short and everybody runs up and tackles. You gotta come with the knockout punch. You gotta do something a little bit different. I do think you run it, but take some aggressive shot deep, and Luke McCaffrey is my guy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love to hear it. Now, my other question that I have for you, who to stop on LA? Obviously, Justin Herbert is Justin Herbert. If you don't like ice cream, Sherbert's the way to go. But they got Keenan Allen, they got some weapons on the outside. QJ, of course, but the young buck, Marion, like Reed likes to call him, Ovarian Hampton.
I
Who do
did
you?
say that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did say
My
that
bad.
in the
Yeah,
pre-draft
Barrington.
process. You did
I'll
say that.
stick by that.
I
Yeah.
need them to. I want the defense to control that line of scrimmage and put the pressure on Justin Herbert to have to throw the ball all day. Now you say, well, we got a secondary that's kind of questionable. I think this week it matches up where they can play tighter in coverage. Okay, and now because hey, whenever a receiver is just in front of the DB, that's open in the league. That's open. Okay. And that's going to happen in this game. They're going to be in front of you. But what's going to be different is you don't have to be 3 yards of separation. You know what I mean? I think people will be in phase a lot more. Quentin Johnson, he's playing great this season. They're giving him a lot of shots deep. But I don't see him having the 4.3 speed. I think he was like a low 4.5, maybe high 4.4, somewhere in that range. So he's not necessarily a burner. Then Keenan Allen, great route runner. Love him as a receiver, but he's not necessarily a burner. I think that you can match up with him if you can get physical with him. And then inside, you got Sanders still against McConkey, both quick and shifty. I think that's a good matchup.
Yeah.
So to me, you should see stickier coverage on the back end, which then in turn turns into some dessert. And it's a pick six, and they taking the cupcakes to the house.
I hope so. I hope that they don't let that little lad McConkey, the most made up name in all of the sports world, go down there and burn on them.
Oh
But I've
man.
had him on fantasy and he's sucked, and that's been very disappointing for me, and that's really
Yeah.
bugged
This
me.
is his second year, right?
Yeah, out of Georgia, I remember because
Yeah.
I
You
remember
know what I
hearing about him. I
mean?
was always like, "That's not a real person."
See,
Lad McConkey is a made
they
up
were saying
player.
the same thing about Penix coming into that game. He hadn't
I know.
completed a pass over 20 yards.
Dude, that's what worries me about
Yeah.
it. Is like McConkey has done. I'm like, he's gonna go. He's gonna have a big game. I'm definitely starting him this week in
Yeah.
fantasy. Even if we win, I guarantee they target McConkey often, and he gets up and he gets a good amount of yards, just because that's the way it seems to work out for us.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm hopeful that the defense and even linebackers, because like I'm saying, if the linebacker has to understand, hey, you're getting that motion coming in there, you get your ass back, bro, because
Right?
he's running through there with speed,
Yeah.
right? If he happens to stop in front of you, fine, we'll just tackle,
Yeah.
okay? We'll just play tackle from there.
Just
But
don't get beat deep.
yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, like
Or
I
don't
think
let him behind you.
it's
Right.
bound to happen, right? But in that particular scenario, the issue is that the safety is saying, I gotta stop speed, but then now they're leaving the corner open. So then now you got to say, okay, well, the guy who's playing the flat really needs to kind of drop back to about 12 and
Right.
understand that there's nobody in front of you for you to be, dropping to. They
Yeah.
play with a lot of eyes on defense. They're looking at the quarterback.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of the DBs just kind of in no man's land. But they're looking at the quarterback, but there ain't nobody, they out there by themselves,
Right.
right? It's like, hey, if you recognize the concept, you run the cover two, get hands on somebody, you stay with them, get your hands off, but understand there's no pressure up in front of you in the flat. So now I can actually drop to maybe about 8 to 10 to 12 yards, not all the way underneath the corner, but just enough to keep that quarterback from throwing it
Right.
or just enough to bait them into throwing it. Now you get Marshawn with a little backpedal and a interception over the head type of a play, right? So
Right.
that's the type of nuances that and tweaks that they aren't making right now, where they're not adjusting their coverage based on the concepts that they see. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're going to see the same concept,
W-
and
w-
they'll just say, "Hey, we're running cover two to it. All right, cover two. I'm in the flat. Jam, I'm in the flat. I done my job." You do your job to another level where you're
Right.
like, I know what's coming. Cool. Let
It,
me drop up out of here because this corner route's coming up top.
right.
Boom, interception.
I,
Let me
That's
ask you guys.
I do think real fast. I do think you're 100% right, but it is funny to think about like you can do everything right, and then like you can be like, all right, well, I don't mind giving up this 6 yard pass as long as he doesn't get behind me. Then you got to make the tackle.
yeah.
They didn't make the tackle last week at
But
all
look,
last
but
week.
here's the thing though. I was talking to a friend of mine. He texted me. He said his son was making tackles and big hits in the game, but some play action came up and he gave up a big play, and the coaches took him out for that. But the
Okay,
other guys were missing tackles, but they didn't take him out. I said the coaches don't really care about the missed tackles. They do. I can live with a missed tackle. I
right,
can live with it. You've slowed them down enough. There's 10 other people that's coming.
right.
It's them
Unless it's
big
the John. Yeah,
plays. I
yeah,
can't have you give up a big play. I can't have
yeah.
you
That's
like
true.
have a mental, oh my bad, coach. I
Right.
get it next play. We
Yeah,
down seven.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You not in on the next play. Matter of
Right,
fact, I get
right.
somebody else will do it next play. So where the missed tackle, like yes, they need to tackle, but if you're gonna tell me something, stop the bleeding, stop the gashes, stop the big plays.
Yeah,
First, like what was it? The game against the Falcons? Yeah, obviously. They had the penalty. It was like 1st and 15. The very next play is a double move, and they go get the 15 and more. That's something that you can't do. If
yeah.
you have them in 1st and 15, you got to now make it 2nd and 13. Now it's 3rd and 10. That's
Right.
that's where you like playing to your advantage. When you just able to just give it back to them, that ain't it,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
Right.
not at all. And we did have a couple questions in the chat. Anthony, I want to start this one off with you. We can go roundtable with this. Fellas, if Jayden is not right, would you start Mariota? This is from Realistic Washington Fan.
Well, I think they made the decision that obviously he's going to start. I feel like he probably could have played last week, but this organization seems to go little one extra week, right? Like I think it's ready, probably could do it. Like if it was a playoff game, throw him in there. But he didn't need to. So I'm gonna lean on the side of that he's gonna be fine. Right? They're gonna take all the precautions. That extra week off was important to just get that much more preparation and that much more stability around that knee. So I don't see an issue with it. I mean, if you see him noticeably limping, and it's given like some bad PTSD, then you make the switch. But ideally, I don't think you get to that spot.
Yeah, no,
Especially, yeah, I don't think. I mean, you don't put Jayden out there this early in the season if you think he could still get hurt. I think that with the way Mariota was playing, you don't even want to risk Jayden doing anything else. So I think that they're confident that he's fine, and I think this is probably the plan the whole time. So hopefully, Jayden's been kind of watching the Chargers defense film, doing a bunch of that, the virtual reality stuff, doing all that and taking notes for like the last week or two, and just preparing.
yeah, and I would imagine that he needs to stop looking back at the people that he's running past and look at where he's running to. Maybe he won't be as injured as often. But we'll answer that question a little bit later. But to wrap this up, Anthony, only a couple more questions for you, sir. Undercover hero for this game. I know I asked you about this last time that you were on, but who do you think somebody that has to come through for Washington that doesn't get all the spotlight?
I think I said him earlier. I think it's Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
No Terry, and Luke's. I mean, he's got 2 touchdowns in a row, 2 games in a row. Like the ball tends to find you whenever you start to have some success like that, regardless if it's in garbage time. I don't care how it happens. The ball hits your hands and he's finding a way to the end zone. So he's building on some momentum. Really expect him to have a pretty good game.
My man. And then the next one, are the injuries too much to overcome for Washington?
No, I'm not gonna even go down that road. That's something for everybody. It's not in the building to worry about. And when I talk about it, I talk about it as if I'm in the building because I know that Dan Quinn's gonna say, "Hey, the game is still scheduled on Sunday." Did they? I don't think they canceled that Nan game because of injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody goes and says, "Oh well, you didn't have Terry there." Ain't nobody finna put asterisks around this. It's still gonna be a W or a L regardless. So you got to show up. So whoever the hell it is, you got to play. If 11, 83, 13, 10, me, you, whoever's in there, your job is to do your job, and the job is to come home victorious. So I'm not gonna sit here and give ourselves an out by saying, "Oh well, the injuries, y'all, man, we hurt. So it's week 5, we hurt. So don't even trip." Like you trying to just give a reason to not bet somebody. Like no, be confident in your team. They'll be prepared. They'll be able to get back. They're taking the right steps to get people healthy. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, and Washington's offense coming into this game, they're third in red zone conversion percentage, eighth in points per game, second in rushing yards, but they're 27th in third down conversion percentage. So
It's crazy compared to last year.
yeah, so the question to you, Anthony, is what's the one area Washington has to win in order to be in a good position to win?
The coaching, the chess match with people with the headset. That because what you mentioned, a part of getting into bad third down is first and second down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some of that I've seen on tape is the quarterback, both 5 and 8, needing to make a better decision with the ball to get ourselves in a shorter down and distance. Then the other one, we've said it before, Cliff Kingsbury. You're the guy you're the chef. You're the chef, all right? They are the maitre d's and the waiters, and they putting it out there on the table. But you're calling the play. You can put the menu together. Got to get these guys in favorable positions. I love to run first, but get yourself into 2nd and 5. Get yourself into a 3rd and 3. Now we can do what we want. 2nd and short, we can play action, and we can do whatever you want. But when you're continually 3rd and 8, 2nd and 8, and then 3rd and 5, like those are not good positions to be in. It's tough to work from that. It's favorable to the defense. So the people with the headset, those are the guys. I need to see them step up out there on the West Coast.
My man, last one real quick. Prediction for the game. Who's going to win?
Man, I'm always going to pick the Commanders. Like, that's it. That's it. I ain't going to pick no other way. My keys, though, I will tell you this. The keys, you got to control the line of scrimmage both sides. You got to be stickier in the back end. And then you got to be
Kinda like
aggressive
Reed.
offensively and defensively. So those are my 3 keys. If you do that, they come home victorious.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
that was what they did like against the Giants and against they dominated up front on the defensive line especially. Like against the Giants, I remember that week one being like, "Oh, damn, maybe we didn't need that edge rusher we were talking about. Maybe they did know what they were doing." And both games that they won, that's how they won was up front with the D line. So yeah, and then last week just crushed us with Bijan, and that could be a number of different things. But yes, I completely
I mean,
agree.
but Bajan is like Bajan though. So you know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's like it's not like you're just saying like, ah man, Kobe put 60 on me. It's
right.
Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm
True.
saying?
Yeah.
It's not like, man, just random,
All right.
Joe Schmo. I got
Yeah.
whoever.
Right.
It's not one of those. So it is Bajan Robinson
Right.
against the old aging player, and really that was anybody would have got crossed up right there. So
My man, I totally agree with you. Defense needs to be Mike Reed on Sunday. Sticky in the back end. I'm all there. I'm right there with you, Anthony. Have a
They need to be
great
like Kyle,
have
plug
a
those
great
gaping
weekend,
holes.
brother. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining us, man. As always, that wonderful smile, being able to talk to us a little bit this late
Damn,
night,
you
and
hitting on
I appreciate you for doing that, man.
absolutely, man. Good to see y'all as usual. Hopefully we'll have a good victory Monday.
him? Yeah,
Absolutely, Anthony. Have a
you
good night,
better.
brother. I appreciate you. All
See
right,
you,
everybody.
Anthony.
We just talked to the man, Mr. Anthony Armstrong. I got to give respect to him, man. He's got a good smile. What's wrong with saying that?
No, he does. It's just, usually when you compliment another man's smile, you
I'm
know what they say.
secure enough in myself that that's
I don't
not a
know. I think,
problem.
yeah, but not everybody else is secure in you. Everybody else looks at you and everybody says it. They
Well,
say, I
don't
think
don't put
Kyle's,
your
they
personal
say, I
don't
think
project your
Kyle is a
personal
little,
feelings on other people, Reed.
well, everybody says, they say, I think Kyle's a little light in the loafers, if you know what I mean. I say, hey,
Nobody
that's my
says that.
friend. What are you talking about? You're telling me that they don't use 1960s lingo to describe you?
Now, the Colonel's question was, I did not realize how depleted we were injury wise. What the hell are we going to do at wide receiver? I wanted to say this then. Anthony had hopped on right there, but I
Right.
wanted to talk about Benjamin St. Juice. The one thing about that PFF rating is you have to look at the snap count. Emmanuel
Yeah.
Forbes and Marshawn Lattimore are easily over 400
Right.
snaps right now.
Right.
Benjamin St. Juice, I'm pretty sure, was below 100 snaps. So the more snaps you get, more likely something's going to happen.
Yeah.
More so, we're going to drop that number down a little bit. And I
Yeah.
would imagine he doesn't have that many snaps
Because he's not that good.
because they kind of realized what was
Right,
happening,
right,
what
right.
we
Yeah.
saw, but we had no other options on the
You
table.
tell me, you tell me this guy was a starter going up against, who was our number two wide receiver last year? Was going up against like Noah Brown and all this stuff, and like,
Yeah.
but you think that like Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey and Quinn Johnson aren't just owning this guy every day in practice? I bet his practice film is probably terrible
Oh yeah,
against those
his
guys.
nickname is probably Bonnie Blue for that
Yeah. Oh yeah.
practice.
Why? Just because he's just everybody just gives it to him.
Everybody. Now
Everybody's just giving him the work. He's like, I'll let this guy get 100 catches in 24 hours.
now
I'll
the
catch
next
100 balls. Yeah.
next question from the Colonel: is there anything at all that gives you a shred of confidence that we're going to go to LA and beat the Chargers this Sunday?
Yeah, just knowing what our team is capable of. I mean, we saw it all last year. Cliff Kingsbury is a legitimate offensive genius. When Cliff's on, there's not many better offensive coordinators in the NFL. And having Jayden back, that's huge as well. You see the way that the offensive line's playing. Like I know Laramie Tunsil is probably good for like one penalty a game, but he's also got an insane pass blocking grade. You really got to feel good about our offense. Like our offense, I'm never too worried about. Defense, they just got to get back on it. You just got to have faith that they can produce, control the line of scrimmage, and that these talented DBs that we have the talentest room of corners that we've had in a very long time. They got to play with it. They got to communicate whatever they got to do. But they can do it, and I do have confidence in it, and especially because every odd number week so far this season we've played fantastic, and this is week 5. So
Yeah, they got to step up. I'm tired of talking about it, to be perfectly
yeah,
honest with you. I voiced my concerns of what I think honestly should happen. And like Telly told me my idea was stupid, which I totally get. That's his opinion. I get it, dude.
what was your idea?
My idea was moving Lattimore to safety
Uh,
because
I mean, at
Lattimore.
this stage in his career, that could be
Well, my whole point was,
aggressive.
especially going against Atlanta, Marshawn Lattimore does not have the feet that he did
He
before,
used to,
but he has
right.
experience. He
He's
has the
aggressive.
tackling ability, and he would be a very good matchup for Kyle Pitts in size. You have Amos going against Drake London, which Drake London did get him over a little bit. Mikey Samer still on the outside against Darnell Mooney, and then you have Noah Igbenogany in the slot. So I thought that would be a very good idea. And he was saying it was stupid to do that mid-season to change positions. And my whole point being is Marshawn Lattimore has enough experience in this league that I'm pretty sure he can make that adjustment. This isn't like a rookie corner that you're
Right.
throwing to the wall, so to speak. But
I
just
think
regardless, we're getting
I
off track.
right. No, I think he for sure could. I think you're right. He could do that. Would they do that middle of the week or like midseason? I don't know, but I could totally see that at some point
Yeah,
down the
and
line.
it's not
Especially
like a
because,
knock
like you said,
on.
Sainer still played better outside last year.
Yeah,
Noah Benogi played fantastic on the inside. You got Trey Amos, who's already playing well, is only going to get better. Maybe at some point, yeah. Who knows? I like it on paper.
who
If it
knows?
was Madden, I would do it.
But who am I, man? But is there anything at all that gives me a shred of confidence that we're going to go to LA and beat the Chargers on Sunday? Yeah, absolutely. The fact that with all the injuries that they have had to offense, they're third in red zone conversion percentage, getting a touchdown 77% of the time that they're in the red zone, they're getting a touchdown. They're eighth in points per game. Yes, they're 25th in passing yards, but they're also second in rushing yards. Given with the injury to John Bates, honestly, he is like an offensive lineman out
Yeah.
there. And obviously, they used an actual offensive lineman to kind of help with those kind of duties.
Right.
And they're still being able to produce in that. So, if I'm going to say anything, I think it's the fact that even with all of these injuries, they've continued to be productive offensively. And defensively, you can honestly make the argument that the mental mistakes are fixable. That's not something that it's like talent wise. It's literally
Right.
just everybody getting on the same page. And we've seen that when they are on the same page, good things happen. Because even in a
Right.
game like against the Raiders, where before the injuries happened at the end of that game, they had to bring in another safety onto the field, and they had to be very simple in that aspect. They gave up one big play to Jacoby Myers, and then it was null and void. It was gone at that point, and the Raiders were grasping for air. So you can make the argument that when they are on the same page, they actually do really well. It's just when they have those mental mistakes is when the
Right.
big plays happen. So I'm going to say the vote of confidence that I have is that it's fixable. This isn't a talent issue. This isn't like the last year of Ron Rivera where we're like, do we have the horses here to be able to get this done? We absolutely do. It's just
Right.
everyone getting on the same page and being put in a position to be put at their strengths. And what's unfortunate is what Bobby Wagner has seemed to be thrown into a buzzsaw with the mental mistakes, trying to make up for others. Because that's
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed on film is like guys will get on certain players like Bobby in coverage and everything. And as much as we think it's on Bobby, it could be something else happening, and he sees it before it's happening, and he's trying to
I
make
don't.
up for it.
I
You
was
know what I
about to
mean?
say, I don't think that there's if literally like out of all the players in the NFL on the offensive side, I don't think that Bobby Wagner would be making too many mistakes. Like there wouldn't be a
Yeah.
method behind what he was doing. Or that dude's too experienced. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. But what he's the greatest linebacker of our generation.
And you
I
got to
mean,
give
not
And you got to give respect to the Falcons. They ran a literal pick play with two wide receivers on Bobby.
Yeah.
And look, but you have to be aware of that. You have to be set up for success in that regard
Right.
and know that it's coming. And that's one thing that Bobby against Bijan in a 40-yard dash
Right.
with a pick play against them. I mean, you can't. There's
didn't stand a chance. Yeah.
no chance at all.
But no, that's actually very true. I like that you said that about the defense. That does got to kind of make you feel better. The two things that killed them against the Falcons was communication and tackling, and those are two things that they can easily get right. Tackling, you're in the NFL. What got you to the NFL? You've done this your whole life. You can be fine. You can just get it together. Communication, same thing. It's just talk. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, this next question, this is in the Discord. From our boy Tim Towner. What is some football information that you are aware of that is totally useless, but you cannot keep yourself from sharing it with others? Like me saying Marshawn should be moved to safety.
Well, it was that's a piece of football information that is totally useless. I heard some the other day, and it's kind of went viral on the internet, so it's going to be kind of dumb. But I thought this was interesting. The first thing that ever popped in my head. Did you know, Tim Towner, and I'm sure you do, that Tom Brady has never taken a regular season snap out of playoff contention in the NFL? He's never been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention taking a snap on the field. Do you know that?
I did not.
That's pretty crazy, right? Think
That
about
is
how long
pretty
he's been
crazy.
playing. I guess every time that they've been eliminated from the playoffs, either Tom Brady was hurt or what? Yeah. So
I guess the only one that I have is that if you don't turn over the football, you're in a better position to win the game.
yeah, mine was way better.
I know.
Yeah,
Yours was
cool.
great. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
but
like
yours is
literally
great advice.
to the T of what it was asked, and you
Yeah.
hit it out of the park. The
Yeah.
next question from Deluxe, who got into an accident the other day. Wasn't his fault. He was in
Damn.
traffic, got hit by a tractor trailer, and like
What?
literally, it's a miracle that he didn't get. He said he was up on the dashboard, but thankfully he's okay. Praying for him that he continues okay, that
Yeah.
nothing
Oh
else comes
God,
up.
dude.
Went to urgent care. But he made it sound like the truck driver dipped as soon as the cops got there, which I was like, nobody thought that was weird.
Damn.
But apparently
Wait.
the truck driver talked to the cops and let him go. So
Okay.
I thought that was a little weird because I'm
Yeah, that
pretty
is a
sure you should
little.
probably check on that guy if he's just running into
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah. The tractor trailer. Somebody grab his ID.
Right. Thoughts on traveling west, Reed? Did the team travel early? And Jayden going home? How do you think he'll handle it after being out a couple weeks?
I think this is what Jayden lives for, man. That dude, he's up on the East Coast. He hasn't been on the West Coast really since high school. I mean, I don't know where he lives in the off seasons, but I mean, he went to Arizona State. I know that's West Coast, but it's still not where he's from in Cali and LA area, and then LSU, now in DC. That boy's got to be excited, man. His family's got to be pumped. I know his mom was talking about on Twitter how she's excited. There's going to be a lot of supporters there, a lot of family, a lot of friends. It's time for him to show out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll handle it just like the way he always has. I think that at this point, based on what happened in the playoffs, based on the run that we had last year, he's not somebody that puts the PUSSY on a pedestal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
right.
he kind of takes it for
Or
what
the
it is. Not,
BUSSY for
huh?
you. Or the BUSSY
Yeah,
that
the
you like.
bussy.
Yeah, the bussy. Yeah,
Like he's not gonna put that on a pedestal, right? He like knows what it is. It is what it is. It's a
right.
football game. You go
He's
out there and
always
do your
even keel.
job.
He's always the same. Yeah,
Obviously, you're going to have a little bit more excitement playing in front of your family and friends. But I think that he's gotten over that hump of putting it on that sort of thing. We're
trying
well
to
past
show
that
out.
point.
Right.
But
Yeah.
obviously, it's something that is going to hit home with him in regards to being in front of family, going back to LA. And I know that the team practiced at the Coliseum today on Friday, and Dan Quinn had his presser there, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Absolutely fantastic. I feel terrible for them having to sit in traffic because you know that they did, sitting in the
Yeah.
smog. Craziest, dude. When I flew into LA, I was like, why? Is there like a cloud sitting on top of
That's like
LA? And my boy was
no,
like, no, dude, that's smog.
it's not even just smog. It's George Clooney's acceptance speech from the Oscars. Didn't South Park do that?
Yeah.
They called it smug. Yeah, that's George Clooney's acceptance speech just going around. Yeah, that's what a. Ugh.
And now somebody on Twitter, not on Twitter, from the chat says Packers had. This is from Ant SRT8. Packers had injuries on their O line too, and they handled us. Fair, but Anthony Belton, I did a pre-draft film breakdown on him, and that dude was very impressive. After it was announced that we were going to be meeting with him, that dude is a legit tractor trailer. Like he runs people over, very physical, and he kind of did that against us.
Somebody quick check his ID.
Yeah, and
Maybe he's the one who hit. I'm just kidding, but yeah, he said he was a tractor trailer, so I had to make the joke.
Yes, and Deluxe says, tell me a linebacker that wouldn't have issues covering Bijan. You're absolutely
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And then the Commandalorian says on YouTube, why not make Medrano a safety? He can cover all tight ends and running backs. Well,
very
because
athletic.
that's very much different in terms of match coverage. Because based on what route is coming at you, you're adjusting your coverage to what the route is entering into your coverage. So, like, for a corner, for instance, like if they have a wide receiver crossing the field in zone, they are going off of that. They're not tracking with that wide receiver. They're pushing that off, pushing it off somebody else. And where that route is, that crosser's coming into somebody else, they're then picking him up and passing him if he keeps going across the field. So with linebackers, it's very much different on what's being asked to do. And the same thing goes for safeties, especially if you're in that cover two, that cover one sort of realm. I trust Kane Medrano and what he can do. I just don't want to do the Ben Sinnott kind of thing where you're putting too much on his plate and then you get regression, right? Like, I trust Kane Medrano being able to get deep and getting across the field. I just feel like we might be biting too much of the apple at that point, Kane Medrano. Let him mature into what he's going to be and let him prove what he can do on the practice field to be able to earn some reps.
Yeah. Also, that's one of those things with just like football in general. Like, you'll see a lot of safeties switch to linebacker, eventually becoming linebacker. You don't see many going the other way. You don't see many linebackers eventually becoming safeties.
And then
Skill set thing probably.
Rennell Winchester says Medrano or McGee in obvious passing situations. I understand how people are saying that because Bobby is getting picked on. We know this about Bobby. But you have to understand Bobby is a field general. He reads plays before they're happening. He calls them out at what is going on. He's getting guys into position. If he's on the sideline, nobody can really hear him, especially in a loud environment. That's the last thing that you want to do is take your brain off the field that kind of get people in position, right? In my personal opinion. And that's what you ultimately be doing with Bobby by taking him out. Yes, there has been times where he's gotten picked on, but the other team, our team, the other players, are not doing their best in doing their job of what they're being asked to do. So it's creating these open situations. But I can promise you that they're getting a remedy for it. We saw Bobby was on the field last year. It wasn't that big of a concern last year. They're going to fix it. Just trust me on that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I mean, you can survive without your brain. Kyle, you've made it 35 years.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Now, the next question we have is from Tim Tanner. Do you think Cliff Kingsbury and his coaches have tried to progress Jayden's game too much? And as a result, he will be progressively making fewer first read throws and try to make more second and third read throws. And his QB hits and sack numbers will go up, and his completion percentage will go down. Got to get the ball out of your hands.
Do I think that that's what's happening with him? Was that what it was? Or that could happen? I think that they kind of know Jayden. Like Jayden is very advanced as a decision maker and just reading defenses at his age. I don't think that like they're going to put too much on his plate. He's just going to play his game, and I think that that's good. Jayden hasn't played bad when he's played. I don't at all. That'll be the 2 games that he played. He hasn't been what we saw, but I mean, who has been so far for us this year? You know, but he'll totally be nothing concerning.
The Packers game in particular, there were circumstances that were not characteristic or we're not familiar with Jayden doing. In terms of the read option play where he's giving the ball off to the running back for the run play when there was an easy lane outside the DN crash. It's like, Jayden, why aren't you taking that? And this was before that tackle happened to his knee.
Yeah.
But he's also human. I understand that completely. He is a young man growing in this league. The NFL is a completely different animal. There's going to be hiccups. As much as we saw Superman last year and the climb, that's impossible to expect that out of that young man. There's going to be some regression in some regard. Got to come back down to earth. Just play your football game. There are situations where he's just not doing something that we are used to him doing. But I trust that he is getting these 2 weeks. He's really gotten under the handles, so to speak. He's gotten full control of things. And so just understand that, he might have done some uncharacteristic things. And we're not seeing the Jayden from last year, every single game. But all that matters is getting the W. And I've said this from the get-go. You could blame the injuries, whatever have you. They'll get the dub. Just trust them.
But also last year, I mean, Jayden didn't throw his first touchdown until week 3 against the Bengals.
Right.
Who was that to, Kyle? You remember who that was to?
That was to Trent Scott?
Yes, it was. Good job. But and like we faced the Bucks week 1 and the Giants week 2. We had those drives in week 2 where like we didn't punt, but we also kicked a lot of field goals, and like it takes people a second sometimes. I mean, Jayden's Jayden. He's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, and there seems to like he does. I would imagine he does read everything that's going on, wanting to be the Superman at times, and throwing a bad ball like the Terry McLaurin throw against the Packers where he sails it out of bounds when we needed that long ball to Terry, right? Like that's sort of the situation that Mariota did a similar thing where he threw that interception in the end zone when I think it was Debo on the in route right past the first down marker. Just throw the first down. It's wide open. You don't have to be Superman. Just make the play that's supposed to be made and slowly but surely get down the field. This is what this offense does. I trust that they're going to be able to do that. Do I think that they're doing too much? No. I don't think they're putting too much on their plate. It's time to put your big boy pants on. It's the NFL. It's difficult. Everyone gets paid. Overcome the adversity and get the job done, which I'm sure that they're going to. It's just put your seatbelts on, boys. It's going to be a wild ride. Anything else you'd like to add before we get out of here, brother?
No, I mean, not really. I'm
running on fumes, dude. This week has been rough.
Yeah, so good. You like it rough. I know you do.
I do.
Sicko. But I'm not too concerned about really anything. I mean, this will be it's still early enough in the season, and like I said, we've looked really good at times. We've looked pretty bad at times. We saw how good we could be last year. I know we've got injuries, but everybody, the sky is not falling. I say this all the time. My Chicken Littles, relax a little bit. We're 2-2. It's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. I know we're about to enter into a brutal stretch here coming up shortly, but I got faith in us. We still got Jayden Daniels. We still got one of the best play callers in the NFL.
So I'm going to make the really bad correlation, and you're probably going to laugh at this. But we've all seen the movie Shrek, right?
Yeah.
Right? When Shrek and Donkey are going to the castle, and they're going over the bridge with the lava, and Donkey's flipping out. He's like, I'm looking down. And Shrek starts rocking the bridge, and he finally is able to back up and get over, and he's like, that'll do, Donkey, that'll do. Like, that's how it almost feels right now with the fan base with flipping out in regards to everything.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't worry. Dude, everything will be fine.
The worst thing to do, and I always forget about it until, like, the season happens, is going on Twitter when the Commanders aren't playing the best. Because, like, dude, there's people out there that are like, we need to start holding Adam Peters accountable. We need to, it's like, dude, calm down. Relax. Calm down.
Well, I really respect Joe Witt because, yes, the defense has not been playing up to par the way they should be. But he was very honest.
The other 2 games, they played fantastic.
And, like, he's been very honest in his presser about what the issues are.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, players would have an issue with Joe Witt doing that if he wasn't saying it to their face in meetings and tell the truth Monday, which he obviously is.
Right.
And so for him to come out and say, just don't worry, put your cape on, because he's absolutely right in regards to saying that. That's the issue. Yeah. We've seen them be able to do well in the back end. It's just they're having some communication and mental mistakes that are putting them in very bad situations. The big plays is what you have to eliminate. This defense, their bread and butter is bend but don't break. If you allow those big plays, you are really putting everyone at a disadvantage, especially with this offense being more rush dependent than they ever have been without Jayden Daniels' legs. And so like they have to have the grinded out kind of offense, but if you're constantly giving the ball back to them, there's going to be issue. You got to bend but don't break. You got to get some field goals converted, because right now in red zone conversion percentage, Washington is 16th, middle of the league, middle of the pack. You gotta help them out a little bit more in that. Get some field goals, help this team win some football games. Any last words, brother?
Why, are you about to murder me or something?
No.
Okay, I was like, damn, that's a dark way to put it. Any last words? I don't know what I would say, by the way, if I was about to die and I had last words. I don't know. I would have to think of something cool or something.
Like, we do family movie night. Tonight was family movie night. So we watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the first one, the good one.
Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
I never realized this, but it's so freaking funny. Remember when the kid gets teleported into the little TV and he turns miniature? Yeah. And his mom puts him in the purse, and then so Willy Wonka takes the purse, and he's literally swinging the purse as he's like walking with the mom. If you ever go back and watch it, it's crazy. So the kid's in the purse, and he's just swinging the purse like this back and forth.
Oh no! Do you think that he died?
No, it's just so funny that Willy Wonka was so base like that. He really did not like those kids. It's just awesome. All right, everybody.
Well, it'd be weird if you liked the kids a little too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good
You don't want a guy own a candy store that likes kids a little bit too much. That's classic. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a dead giveaway.
That's like owning a van full of puppies. You know
White girl running into a black man's arms, dead giveaway. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap us up for this episode. Oh, predictions for the game. What do you got?
I think we are going to get back on track, and I think we are going to win 100-2.
Yeah, that would be getting back on track. I think it'll be a close one. I think 24-20. I think the defense is able to force a couple field goals, help the offense get back up and running the way that they have been. Very similar kind of game to what we saw in Week 2 against the Giants last year. To kind of grind it out, just be able to get the last possession and be able to secure yourself the football game and come back home and be ready to go. All right, everybody. Yeah. That's going to wrap us up for this episode. Made it this far. You're a frickin' champion. Thank you to everybody who commented tonight. Thank you to Commandalorian. Thank you to – sorry, I got to pull him up. Thank you to James Wayne. Oh, James Wayne asked a question, Reed. I'm sorry. What is the deal with Savage?
I don't know. I mean, he was just signed before last game, right? So I would imagine it'll – but he's a vet. You can put him on the field.
That touchdown pass that touchdown pass to Kyle Pitts where he's just
Yeah.
staring in the backfield. Like, you don't need to be on a
was it?
team.
I didn't even know. I didn't even see that.
You don't need to be on a team for you could.
To know that you don't. Yeah. Okay. I
You
take it
don't do
back,
that.
maybe.
Your guy is the tight end. I had this issue in a game on Thursday. I'm telling my safety, if that tight end leaks out, that's your man. That's your man. I got it, coach. I got it. Tight end leaks, nobody's on him. Tay,
Damn.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? But it's the same thing. Just, why are you looking in the backfield? That's your man. Stay with him.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't know that. Never mind. I take it back. Darnell Savage, what the hell is up with you?
He can fix that. It's easily fixable. Just get your head out of your ass. It's
Take an
very
Adderall
simple.
before the game, dude. Take an Adderall before the game. You'll be locked in.
Locked in. And then James's other question is, when do you think Preston Smith will be put in the rotation? I think that'll happen this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it will too. And
They definitely
that's
need that.
yeah,
And especially going against Omarion Hampton, and
you need big boys up there.
knowing that you have both tackles out, they're going to look to ground and pound. So
Yeah.
putting the big boys up front, Preston Smith has that thicker frame, longer arms, kind of Reed type of man.
Yeah.
You're going to need to be able to use somebody like Preston Smith to be able to nullify the run.
Yeah, I like that.
And Deluxe, dude, this is morbid. He said, when I got hit by the truck, my thoughts were, is this it? Is this how I go? Nothing classy or inspirational.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's not fun. I've had that before. I hit a tractor trailer. I fell asleep and I woke up to a bang and I was with the like all the way into my hood, almost into my passenger seat, the fucking the bed of the bed of the tractor trailer because it was one of those empty ones. And I remember just being like, I'm at this guy's control now. Whatever happens, like is this how I go? But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna go out somewhere way cooler than that. So
I want to make a joke, but I'm not going
no,
to.
go ahead. I don't care.
Well, because he got hit from behind. And
No,
is this how I
yeah.
go is kind of what Reed says every Saturday. All right,
Yeah.
everybody.
Mhm.
We'll see you again on Monday to recap the
Crazy
game
hair.
against LA. We'll see you guys then. If you made it this far, you're a frickin' champion. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, James Wayne. Thank you to Rennell Winchester. Thank you to Commander Lorian, Deluxe, Ant SRT8, Realistic Washington fan, and Cody from Utah. Can't thank you guys enough for contributing, helping us out, asking some questions. Thank you to Tim Towner, as always.
By the way, I
And-
keep thinking James keeps like he likes looking at what he's looking at. Like he'll like show like Hot Wheels and stuff to the screen. He's like, I keep thinking that like one day I'm gonna look at it and it's gonna be like, help me, my dad's like, help me, my dad's holding me hostage or something. I'm like,
Wouldn't surprise me. What's up, James?
Mm.
Feel better, buddy. I hope your whole family feels better, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Be good. We'll see you then. Washington football. Woo! What's up, everyone? This is Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. We are releasing our own merch to support the show. If you want to rock the Burgundy Zone logo or you want to see Reed's face on your shirt, we got it. We're starting with t-shirts, hoodies, and zip-up. So if you're a fan of the show, make sure you snag one before they are gone. Check out the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Thanks again.